What were you?
What was I? Ross, I was a highly talented airplane mechanic who got to deploy on a number of presidential support missions.
But Jake was no ordinary mechanic. Being recruited into the Air Force's elite combat control unit meant he had a resume that reads like something out of an action thriller. Helicopter pilot, free-fall parachutist, expert marksman, and the recipient of a NATO top-secret security clearance, a legacy of his service in Bosnia, where he won an award for an act of heroism. In addition to reviewing his official documentation, NewsNation spoke with 3 former Special Operations soldiers who corroborate Barber's credentials and claims.
I know in Special Operations, you're often in some tough situations. You have to rely on each other. Is Jake Barber a person who you would trust?
Oh yes, he's a person I would and have trusted with my life.
Do you think Jake Barber is a patriot?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There's a thing I know a lot of special operators talk about, that there are certain types of men who you would want watching your back in a tight spot. Is he one of those guys?
Absolutely. Trustworthiness is one of the top things that we're looking for.
And one of his most fervent supporters is Colonel John Blitch, a Renaissance warrior who holds a doctorate in psychology, was a Delta Force sniper, and is one of the few men to hold doomsday in his hands, commanding a nuclear weapons battalion.
So you believe Jake Barber is telling the truth?
Absolutely.
There has been a cover-up lasting 80 years.
Absolutely.
We've recovered craft.
Absolutely.
So let's roll back. You say you were an enlisted man, and then you ended up working for the intelligence community as a contractor. Tell me that story. How did that happen?
Everything changed for me right around 9/11. And I left the Air Force and was sent out to California at that time to begin establishing my cover basis for an independent contractor, so that I could serve what was coming down the line next for me. And that is the path which led to the UAP subject.
Barber says he was contracted as a helicopter pilot and was part of a team assigned to retrieve crashed aircraft at an undisclosed testing facility in the desert. And we're not only talking about conventional airplanes or drones.
A lot of the work we did was on what I call the range, where the U.S. government and its private partners use to test all kinds of things, weapon systems and resilience to weapon systems of certain craft. And so you see a lot of exciting things.
So you start seeing at the range,
Yes.
interesting objects.
Well, yeah, it's always interesting out there. Things come in and out of sight. Things disappear for a moment and reappear. Things seem to move very quickly. Things change color, they change shape. We did recover things that were exotic in nature in the sky, and we know they were classified craft. And we recovered them and took them back to where they go. The majority of what we see and do is explainable and is ordinary and is known by many people and is not classified. But there is a certain percentage which is extremely sensitive, and that extremely sensitive bit does include what we know is our own man-made advanced technology.
So you know what Louis Elizondo has described as the 5 observables. So you were seeing objects that complied with those weird observables.
Yes. So one of those that would raise your eyebrow is more of the transmedium characteristics, because things would come from the ground, like from the earth, from a ridge, from a mountain, or it could pass through.
So they'd come out of a ridge?
Out of a ridge, yeah.
Aircraft that can disappear, change colour, change shape? How might the US military have developed or acquired such technology? Jake says he saw for himself close up.
In the rare occasion, or let's say the hypothetical occasion, something of a non-human origin or source were to interface with the ground, you would deploy that same team. And that is the segue in how we got involved with this particular subject.